I hope you're having a good day today. We're going to be looking at the account of the Tower of Babel today. Our hymn I worked on a couple weeks ago, or a few months ago, I should say, called It All Came to Naught.
They said, "Let us build a city in Shinar. Let us make a name for ourselves so grand." Little did they care of God up in heaven. Proudly they found out as all came to naught.
Let's look at the other verses just as it tells basically tells the account. Verse 2, a home was sought for instead of their journey. Hard stones with mortar so they won't be moved. Filling the earth was what God had commanded. City was built, but it all came to naught. Mankind had one speech united in Shinar. Towers stood so high as all worked as one. Without the Lord, though, all building it must stop. Shinar's now Babel as all came to naught. Will we seek our name and our home and our ways, working together but leaving out God? He looks upon us to see what we're building. If not on Jesus, our all comes to naught. Genesis chapter 11, verse 1. Now the whole earth had one language and one speech, and it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Then they said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth." But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord said, "Indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down, and there confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth, and they ceased building the city. Therefore its name is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the languages of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of all the earth. What points might we make about the account? One is, as they said, let us make a name for ourselves. And you can tell, this is after the Noah, and the whole earth has one language, one speech. Now we know what the Lord had commanded them to do. Be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. And they don't want to do that. They don't want to fill the earth. They're somewhat nomadic, and they're journeying from the east. All the people are together, and they journey from the east, and they come to this place, and they say, "You know what? We're tired of moving around, and so let's just settle here and make a city and make a name for ourselves. Let's make a name for ourselves." In my notes, I put it like this. Who are you trying to impress? Obviously, there is some pride here, and it's a point that needs to be made. There's pride. But who are you trying to impress? It's not like there's 7 billion people on the earth at that point. It's not like there's a neighboring city. Okay, so it's not like these folks, as they settle in Shinar, it's not like they're trying to keep up with the Joneses next door. There are no Joneses next door. So who are you trying to impress exactly in seeking a name for yourself? It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? But that's what pride does. Pride doesn't make a lot of sense. Back to the account. They say, "Lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth." Namely, they didn't like the idea of filling the earth and multiplying like the Lord had said. So they say, "Lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth, this is what we're going to do." You know, our solution to problems are actually not solutions at all. And I was thinking about a verse we're going to read actually in a few days. And it's when Abram and Lot separate. Do you remember why Abram and Lot separate? Because there's not enough room. They need more room, right? Their herdsmen, their shepherds are fighting because there's not enough room for both of them. And so they separate. Well, here these folks in Shinar, they're like, well, we don't want to separate. We want to build a city. And I was thinking about the topic of population density. And so here they are, and they're trying to, in building the city, it's going to become more and more dense. When that happens, a lot of times problems arise because there's not enough room for everyone to live. And what happens is people stop getting along and they start fighting because they're fighting over that little parcel of land. And so they have this solution, we're just going to settle here. And God's like, spread out. Spread out. There's room enough for everybody. And they say, no, we don't want to spread. We want to make it dense. Our solutions are not actually solutions. Man's wisdom falls flat on its face, doesn't it? God's wisdom's a whole lot better. Whole lot better. Anyway, I was just thinking about that. Their solution, in the long run, it's, okay, we're going to build it up into the heavens. At some point, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to spread out. Okay? That's what you're going to have to do. Your solution's not really a solution. There's plenty of room to go around. Do what the Lord said. Back to the account. The Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And I think that's an amazing thing that sometimes we forget, that the Lord is interested. What is man that you are mindful of him? You know, in James, when it talks about complaining and murmuring, and it says, behold, the judge is standing at the door. It is an amazing thing that the Lord takes an interest in the things of man. It's just a wonderful thing. It can be a scary thing if we are disobedient. But you know, when the Lord says, another verse, tomorrow we're going to start looking at Job. And when the Lord says, have you considered my servant Job? When he's talking to the devil, it's pretty obvious the Lord has considered his servant Job. He's interested in his creation. And so here we see he's interested in his creation and he's not pleased with what's happening. And we'll add one more little tidbit. This is after the flood. When Noah got off the ark, and the Lord says, he was pleased by the sacrifice that happened, and he says, I'll never flood the world again to destroy it. We should probably remember that doesn't mean that the Lord suddenly went hands off and said, you guys are on your own. Oh no, he's still interested, because Babel's the very next account. So when Noah gets off the ark, it's not like the Lord said, okay, you guys do whatever you want to do. Nope. He's interested. And he comes down and he confuses their language and the people are spread. So I consider it. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our Daily Praise.